Yo, what's good everyone? Coach D here, coming to y'all with another YouTube video. Hey listen, sometimes we're all really busy, especially if we are the busy professionals, which are the people that I work with. You got a busy job, you got a busy life, social responsibilities, kids, whatever it may be, and you can't always be in the gym for 60 to 75 minutes. So I got an awesome full body 30-minute workout for you here. Gonna hit all your major muscle groups, gonna give you a nice thorough warm-up as well that's gonna go great to prepare you for the workout, and it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be simple, and it's gonna get done what you need to do for your training session. And as always, if you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out daily content on the socials, join the newsletter for some additional resources and information. And so let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So as I mentioned, today is gonna be a full body workout. We're gonna do supersets for every single exercise. We got 3 supersets that we're going to do. Before we get into the exercise, we're gonna go ahead and do a warm up over here, which you're gonna see. It's gonna prep us for every single movement that we're going to do. We're going to get our heart rate up a little bit, do some activation exercises, and then do some mobility. Once we finish our warm up, again, we have 3 supersets. Each superset is gonna be either 3 sets or 2 sets, which you'll kind of see the demonstration when we go through. Our first one is going to be a box squat paired with a lat pull down. Our second superset is going to be a landmine based superset, where we're gonna do a landmine reverse lunge and a landmine shoulder press. And our last superset, we're gonna get a little bit of core in there. We're going to do some Russian twists and a plank. So like I mentioned, we got a 30-minute workout here today. Part of that is we're going to do a 5-minute warm-up. It's gonna be super quick, super efficient. We're starting off on the treadmill. 2 minutes here, just walking at kind of a moderate pace. When we talk about intensity for cardio, I use a 1 to 10 scale. We call it RPE, rating of perceived exertion. 1, you're not doing anything. You're chilling on the couch, watching your favorite show. 10, you're doing a max effort sprint. For this, I want you at like a 3 or 4. You're just moving, getting your heart rate up a little bit, but by no means should it feel like it's max effort. Next, we're gonna do 2 activation exercises. Each one we're gonna do for 10 repetitions, 1 for the lower body, 1 for the upper body. Our first one is going to be a box squat. So you're just gonna use body weight with this. You're gonna use something that is at about hip level when you come down, and so you're just gonna do your traditional squat. Basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your feet just outside shoulder width, turn your toes out slightly, hands nice and close, getting some nice tension by having those elbows close to your side. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna squat down, lightly tapping your butt on the box, and then coming right back up like you see here. Making sure that my knees stay in line with my toes, and we're going for 10 repetitions. Here we go. Next one is gonna be for our back and shoulders, since we do have some pull downs and we do have some overhead pressing with the landmine. That's gonna be the band face pull. How you're gonna set this up? When you have your arms stretched out, you should have the band roughly parallel to the floor. Grip is gonna be just outside shoulder width, thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. From there, all I'm gonna do is get in a little bit of athletic stance, bend my knees a little bit, brace the tummy, and I'm gonna pull the band to my forehead, squeeze my shoulder blades back, nice and controlled until I got straight arms. We're going for 10 reps right here. All right, so the last portion of our warm up, we're gonna do a little mobility on the ground here. Again, we got some lunges and some rotation, along with some bracing for a plank. And so we're gonna do 2 drills that are gonna address all those needs. The first one here we're gonna do is a low lunge with a rotation. So for this one, I'm gonna get into a plank-based position. I got my shoulders over my wrist, back is flat, hips are tucked. What I'm gonna do from here is I'm going to step up to the side, get my foot as close to my hand as possible. That same side hand is gonna rotate, chest and eyes look up to the ceiling for a second, and then we're gonna switch. We're gonna do 10 in total, 5 on each side. Here we go. And if this is a little too difficult, if you're having issues staying up right here, you can always drop to the knees as well, kind of in a modified plank position. Come up and rotate. That option's for you. And last one is gonna be what we call scap push-ups. So I'm getting that same position for a plank. Again, shoulders over wrists, hips are tucked. And from here, I'm gonna keep my elbows as straight as possible. All I'm gonna do is bring my shoulder blades together and then push them apart from each other. This is really good mobility for the shoulder blades, but also it gets us ready for that plank position because we do have planks later going here. And again, if this is a little bit too tricky for us to start with, I just drop my knees, push my hips forward, and I can do the exact same movement here. We're going for 10 reps. Okay, so our first superset that we're gonna do is going to be a goblet box squat and a lat pull down. For this first superset, we're gonna do 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps with a reps in reserve of 4. Let me kind of break that down in terms of what I mean. So 3 sets, that means we're gonna go through this superset, meaning exercises back to back, or maybe with just a little rest, maybe about 15 to 30 seconds if you need it, but ideally doing them back to back. I'm gonna do it 3 rounds in total. 8 to 10 repetitions, that is how many times you're gonna do the exercise. So kind of like how I did 10 squats in the warm-up, I'm gonna shoot for 8 to 10 here. The reason I give y'all a range of reps, ideally we're aiming for the top of the rep range, but understand that you might get fatigued as you go through the sets, and so you have a little wiggle room. That way, hopefully you don't have to constantly change your weights every single set. And then that last portion, reps in reserve, that means when you finish your set, for example, that last rep of squats, you do your 10th and final one, ask yourself, how many more reps could I have done? If the answer is 100 more reps, it's too light, right? Go give yourself a heavier weight. A safe rule of thumb is do increments of 5 to 10 pounds for increase. Or if you can't hit the rep range, say you only hit 6 and you're like, man, I feel like I really couldn't have done another rep, maybe drop the weight down 5 to 10 pounds. So reps in reserve is kind of the intensity, lets you know if you need to bump up the weight or lower it depending on how you do in that particular set. And then in terms of rest, once I do both exercises back to back, I'm gonna take about a 60 to 90 second rest period, about a minute to a minute and a half before I go ahead and hit the exercise again. And this superset is great because I am working my quads with the squat, a little bit of arms because I'm doing a goblet squat. And then while my quads are resting, I'm gonna do a back exercise by doing my lat pull down with an underhand grip. So one muscle group is working, the other is resting. It's gonna be really time efficient. Let's jump into it. Okay, so first exercise, goblet box squat. You already did your box squats for the warm up. You're doing the exact same thing. All you're doing is you're grabbing a dumbbell for yourself. So goblet means I have this position here where the heel of my hands, right, kind of that meaty portion, is underneath. Elbows are in nice and tight to build good tension. From there, I'm positioning myself to where I got my box, which is perfect for my lat pull down right here because I have a seat. And now I'm just going to get that tension, push my knees out to the side until my butt makes contact with the box, or I don't want to fully sit and relax. I want to keep some tension and come right back up. Again, driving my knees out to the side, keeping my feet nice and flat the entire time. And again, we're shooting for 8 to 10 reps here. Okay, so the next exercise is going to be a underhand lat pull down. Great exercise, just like in the name, for your lats. That's those large muscles kind of on the side of your back. The reason we're doing underhand is because later on we're going to be doing a neutral press for the landmine. So we have a neutral grip where my hands are side by side. And then I am going to be doing a plank. So I'm going to kind of be in this overhand, internally rotated position. So just to give us something a little different, I'm gonna do underhand, which basically just means my palms are facing me. So to kind of set this one up here, again, if you need to do one warm-up set to get you situated, that's fine. But once you find a pretty comfortable weight, I'm gonna have my hands just at about or just outside shoulder width. I got my seat set up so my knees are rested against the pad. And I'm gonna start with straight arms at the top like you see here. Now, just imagine like you're doing a chin-up. I keep my chest up nice and tall, pull just below my chin. Elbows are driving down to my hips. Nice and slow until that bar is directly overhead. And then just repeat. We're going for 10 reps here. All right, so our next superset that we're gonna do is going to be a landmine reverse lunge and a landmine press. Landmine, if you're not familiar, it's with the setup that you see here where I have a barbell positioned to the ground. Sometimes gyms will have the actual landmine attachment that you can just put the bar in. Some might have a landmine bomb where you put it to the end of the barbell. Or if you have a mat, you can kind of just push the barbell into a corner. It'll still treat the equipment nice, you won't break anything. If for some reason you can't do this or barbells aren't available, you can also sub this for dumbbells instead, but we're gonna focus on the landmine for this superset. In terms of what does our training parameters look like, we're gonna do only 2 sets of this one, 10 to 12 reps per exercise. For the lunges, that means we're doing 10 to 12 in total. So 5 to 6 reps on each side. For the landmine press, we're doing both arms together, so we're gonna shoot for 10 to 12. Again, reps in reserve is gonna be about 4 here, taking about a 60 to 90 second rest between the superset. So for my lunges here, whatever side is gonna be holding the landmine is that same side leg is going to go back. So for example, I'm gonna start on my left hand here first, where I'm holding right at the very end of the landmine of the barbell, and it's right at about level with my pocket, right? So I don't wanna be so far back, that's awkward. I don't wanna be super close, I'm getting in the way of the plate, that's also awkward. Right to where my pocket is. From there, my front leg, my right leg is gonna stay planted, and my left leg, the same side, is going to go back. If you're asking, coach, how far back do I step? I'm really not too sure. Am I too narrow? Am I too long? How do I know? If ever you look at yourself from the side, you should kind of be at 2 90-degree bends. So you can always start here, get a feel for that, and that's how you know exactly how far down you need to go. So again, I got left hand holding right by my pocket, front foot stays flat. I'm sending that left leg back, lightly tapping the knee on the floor. I'm gonna do 5 to 6 on each side, and then I'll switch. All right, and our second exercise is gonna be that landmine press. For this one, I'm essentially almost gonna get like in that goblet position, like we did with our squats earlier, and I'm gonna lace my fingers together. So I'm gonna get the barbell up, heel of my hands is here, fingers are laced together, thumbs are going on top of the barbell to secure it. From here, I'm gonna start just in front of my chin, kind of like the lunge. I don't wanna be too far away, that's awkward. I definitely don't wanna be close up here. I'm gonna uppercut myself. I wanna be just in front of my chin, soft bend in my knees, athletic stance, hips are pressed forward, squeezing my glutes, squeeze my core tight. And then here, I'm just gonna drive the barbell forward. Nice pause at the top, slow and controlled on the way down. Elbows stay nice and tight, almost like a neutral press. We're here for 10 to 12. And last but not least, we're gonna finish up with a core superset that we're gonna do here on the floor. We're gonna do Russian twist, so that's gonna be a rotational exercise and a plank. That way you can, again, focus on that bracing, which translates to basically any exercise, but also a really good foundational core movement here. Again, for this one, we're gonna do 2 sets. We're gonna do for time on these ones, so each one's gonna be for 30 seconds. And then we're not gonna use reps in reserve here. Reps in reserve doesn't make a lot of sense for most core work. So we're gonna go back to that 1 to 10 scale that we did in the warm up for the cardio, that RPE of 1 to 10. Again, think about 1 meaning, this is the easiest thing in my life, I'm doing no effort. 10 is holy crap, max effort, I'm gonna die, right? For this core work, I want you at like an RPE 6 to 7. It's quite challenging. You can definitely get through it, but by the end of that 30 seconds, you should definitely feel like you were working pretty tough. Okay, so our first exercise here we're gonna do is a Russian twist. If you're not familiar, you're gonna be seated right here on the floor, and you're gonna have your knees bent at about 90 degrees like you see here. I'm gonna have my hands braced right here in front of my chest, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate my torso and my hands left to right. Big mistake you don't wanna do is just moving your hands. That's not rotation, that's not core. I'm just moving my arms. I wanna rotate my whole torso side to side here. Now, if this is a little bit too easy, you wanna level this up a little bit, you got some options. I can raise my feet up, give myself a little extra core and balance challenge, or you can hold a plate, a medicine ball in your hands to give you a little extra challenge. Regardless, I'm shooting for that RPE of 6 to 7. Let's do this. And last but not least, our final exercise is going to be a plank. So for this one, I'll show you how to do traditional first and also modified in case you need to regress the exercise a little bit for your fitness level. So I'm gonna start here with my shoulders directly over my wrist. I'm gonna get my back straight. Hips are gonna be tucked and squeezed. Legs are also fully extended. And for here, I'm just holding, this is a high plank that you see here. Now again, if this is a little too much, if you feel like you can't keep your hips level, you can't figure out how to tuck your hips, whatever it may be, all I want you to do is just let the knees drop naturally. And again, tuck the hips down, squeeze the butt, squeeze the stomach as tight as you can, and we're holding here for 30. And that's it, y'all. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Again, if you're a busy professional, life, kids, work, whatever it is condensing your time in the gym, you can get a solid workout in for 30 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Again, we got daily content on the socials for Instagram and YouTube Shorts that you can check out at _shift_method. Check out my website if you have any inquiries for training in person or virtually, you want to get some merch on the store, or if you want to just check out more weekly content like that, be sure to subscribe. And as always, thank y'all so much. I'll see y'all in the next one. Coming to you again from Boca Raton, South Florida. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Later.